was born at Cheltenham on the 29th of March 1921. Captain Neil Brodie, Arthur's grandfather, was a captain of a merchant ship. Arthur's mother's father, his grandfather, the Reverend Dill Mackey, was moderator of the Presbyterian General Assembly of New South Wales. An intrepid surfer at Dee Why Beach, aged 3. Dr. Alexander Neil and Mrs. Ellen Brodie were the parents of 4 boys: Lex, Gordon, Ian and Arthur the youngest. Looks as though his mother is being forced to have her photo taken. Proud after a day's shooting. Arthur in school uniform during his last year at Newington, before joining the staff of the Bank of New South Wales and then the Army. This photo was taken when Arthur was in training camp in Tamworth in 1941. With all his kit after he arrived home from active service in the Middle East, he enlisted in the AIF Sydney, 23rd of the 5th, 1941. His army number was NX 19429. Posted to signals, embarked for the Middle East in the Queen Mary, 3rd of the 9th, 1941. Served with the Signals 9th Australian Division in Palestine, Syria, Lebanon and Egypt. Hospitalised back to Australia the 21st of the 1st, 1943. Served East Coast Australia till discharged medically on the 12th of the 9th, 1945. With his fiancée, June Fitzharding, on the tennis court at the Blue Mountains Grammar School. John Dean was the owner of the school and later married June's sister, Pat. Married at St Philip's Church, Churchill, Sydney on the 4th of September 1946. A street photo taken on the first wedding anniversary on the 4th of September 1947. Arthur at his orchard at Balmoral, not the beach suburb, but a little town between Picton and Mittagong, with his 2 pride and joys, his new car and his new daughter Sandy, about 9 months. His 3 children at Kingsway DY in 1952, Sandy 4, Keith 2 and Mitt 3 months. Arthur started doing magic tricks before the war, and it proved very handy when he had children of his own to do tricks at their parties. As one little girl at kindergarten said, "Sandy Brodie's father's magic." Arthur still remembers how to ride, even though he learnt as a schoolboy at the family property at Toorawina, the horse's bopped girl, daughter Mitt's pride and joy. Proud patriarch of 4 generations, son Keith, granddaughter Amanda and her first baby Jared, later followed by 2 brothers, Ethan and Tristan. At the 50th wedding anniversary dinner given by Dorothy Walker, no relation to June's family, June's mother was a Walker, the dinner was at Dorothy's townhouse at 2 Rogel Place and attended by several of the other residents. Playing golf in Queensland with Pat and John Dean. John took this photo. It was one of the few times that Arthur used a cart. He was not impressed, he would rather walk. These cuttings from over many years in the paper speak for themselves. With his granddaughter Amanda at her father's 50th birthday party, held at Grafton. It was a surprise party and Keith had no idea about it and certainly didn't know his family from Sydney were attending. At the reunion lunch after the Anzac Day March in 2002, with daughter Sandy and eldest grandson Matthew, who both marched with him. He was quite overwhelmed at the decorations, most of which can't be seen in this photo. The garage door was also included, and they were all done by his daughter Mitt. Arthur's three grandsons taken a Christmas dinner at Stockwell's home in 2003. Matthew Stockwell, Sandy's eldest son, 27, Christopher Brodie, Keith's only son, 25, and Sam Stockwell, Sandy's youngest son, 20. This was taken at the house in Cheltenham where Arthur was born, on the day the house was being auctioned, not at this stage owned by the Brodies. He is with his daughter Elizabeth, better known in the family as Mitt. Arthur arrived back at Roper Place after the Anzac March and reunion lunch in 2004 with daughter Sandy and youngest grandson Sam. They both marched with him. Sandy with the banner of Arthur's Middle East Unit, Anzac Day March 2005. Arthur's three great-grandsons in Grafton in February 2006. Tristan, 2 years of age, Jared, 10, and Ethan, 7. On the 3rd of September 2006, the day before our actual wedding anniversary, Sandy, Marty, Matthew and Sam, Mitt, who did all the preparations and catering, and neighbours Ginny and Denise celebrated our 60 years together. After moving to the orchard on doctor's advice to help his bad sight caused while in the army, he then went on to be an estate agent at DY. In 1956 he became an employee of Email, and in 1964 became their Western Australian manager. In 1972 he returned with Email for a few years before retiring.